Are you of any specific kind of musician? Like some prefer contemporary, some like modern jazz more because you bought a mix in Garuda Gamana. What's your style and how do you approach when any filmmaker reaches you with a script or the story? I know you have already answered this in the previous question.
No, it's no. See, I think I answered it in a more general way earlier. But see, when it comes to a particular script, I think one of the first things that I need to do is understand the taste of the director, because some directors are very particular about this kind of sound that they want, and some are people who probably just have faith in me or have heard some of my work before, and they think that I can give them exactly what they want, so they probably stay out of the way with just giving me a little bit of direction. That is also a good approach, and I don't mind the other approach also, as long as they know where to stop themselves. Like, it shouldn't be in a way that it curbs my creativity you know
Yeah.
so I think that is one of the probably the first step to figure out what kind of a director am I working with. So I try to understand that during the stage of the script narration itself, and later also as we go along the process, also I start to get a better idea of how people work, how each person has a different style, and there is nothing that this is better or that is better. It's just that as long as they are effective and they are sure about what they want, I have no problem. I am willing to adjust according to their style.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a choice of, like, for example, if I have to choose what sound do I use for this particular piece, you know, I do not make a conscious effort per se to decide that, okay, I do not want to use this instrument because it is very commonly used, or I want to use this sound just because it sounds very fresh or new or whatever. It's always about, is it working for the scene? Because if it is working, sometimes you can use an instrument which is as common as a piano, but if you
Yes.
use it in a scene where it is not expected, it is fresh, right? So I think for me, that's how it is. It is about trying. Like, I like to be given time, obviously, when I'm scoring. I'm sure every composer will be laughing when I say that, because everybody wants that. But I like that. I do not like that whole thing of just calling, getting a call every day and saying, "Is it ready? Is it ready?" That is something which I don't prefer. I I always try to explain the situation to them and try to make them calm so that I can be given the space to work. But barring that, it's all about just trying out stuff. And I think one thing that music composers, like especially people who are starting off, should always keep in mind is probably that, do not settle for something which you think is possible. It's about where you set your bar, right?
Yeah.
Where is my, like, at what point do I get creatively satisfied? If I make a song that sounds like every other song which is playing right now, and if I'm satisfied by that, then I don't think I can blame anybody if my songs are not doing well. I have to be giving the audience a reason to stop listening to that song which is the hit right now, and listen to my song which sounds a little bit different, right? So that is the only reason why people will listen to me. So I think that is something which I have to do. I have to be honest with myself and decide that, okay, this sounds good, but it can be better, and I need to keep working on it. I think that honesty, if an artist develops within themselves, I think you're on a good path. So I try to do that with myself, whether it's my scores or my songs. I keep listening to it. I play to a few trusted people, and I take their honest, because I know that those people will be honest with me. I take their honest feedback, and I try to make sure that it's one step at least better than my previous score, my previous film. That's something that I'm always aiming to do. So if I have had a good score in Garuda Gamana, I do not want my next film to sound like Garuda Gamana. I want it to sound better than that. So that's how I try to push myself to do better, and I think that is my driving force. So
Yeah.
that is my creative process. One part of my creative process.
Yeah. Then, do you have your own stack of music which you created to share with the directors, or always you try to create a new one?
Um, No, I do not. I definitely do not have a stack of music, which, like, a bank that I've created of songs and all that. What happens is, sometimes I might create something which I feel is perfect, or it's a good song, or it's a really catchy piece of music for a background score. And then the director might tell me that, I do not think that this is a good fit for my project. So in those cases, those tunes which some other director has rejected, but I think is good, I will keep it aside, and probably I might offer it to another director if I feel like an appropriate subject has come in
Yeah.
in my career. So that has happened a couple of times in my life also. In fact, in Undumote Kathe, there was a song called Chanda Avala Kirulajje, which
Yeah.
was in fact sung by me. That song was actually composed for the film that I was working on prior to that, prior to Undumote Kathe. And in fact, the director of that film, when he heard the tune, also he told me that this tune is very nice. It has a very catchy feel to it, but it's not something that suits my movie. So I kept it
Yeah.
aside. And later, when Raj came to narrate the script of Undumote Kathe, I heard the entire script, and as soon as he finished, I told him that I'll definitely do the film. I love the script, and I told him I have a possible tune for this particular situation, and I played the song to him, and he loved it. He and Suhan Prasad, our producer of Om Digo Tekate. So both of them loved the song. So in the first meeting, I signed the film, and we already had one song ready. So sometimes it happens like that. Similarly, in Garuda Gamana also there is a song called Indo Bareda, which is
Yeah.
a almost like a love song. Not your
Yeah.
typical love song, but that tune was actually composed while I was trying to compose a love song for another film. I was in a different frame of mind. But the minute I composed it, I realized that this song does not suit that film. This song suits Garuda Gamana, because by then Raj had already narrated the script of Garuda Gamana for me to me. So I kept it aside and we used it in the film. So that can happen once in a while, but I do not have this bank of like 1,000 songs, and choose that does not work, because I always tell this to people when they ask me in interviews or in casual conversation. I am very much a film music composer because I need a story to score for. I need, like, for me, music comes from a particular part of that story. That's how music will come. If I could make love songs just off the bat, then I probably would have done well as an independent musician also, as an independent artist. But I can't make music like that. I always need a story to go back to and see and try and make a piece of music which really suits that story. So I think for me, I cannot make tunes earlier. A story has to come which excites me, and then that story has to give me the impetus to make a tune. So I think that's pretty much so. Whatever bank, or maybe I some 15 tunes might be there in my computer right now. All those are rejected from other projects. I've kept it aside. Maybe someday I might use it. That's all.
Yeah. Like, what's your favorite musical instrument and what all you can play?
I can only play the keyboard decently, like half decently.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that I'm a good player, but I can manage my compositions and programming and all that I can do, and I can sing. I'm a singer too. I'm trained in keyboards and singing.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really cannot claim to know to play any other instrument. I guess I can. As a composer, my job is to probably understand how those instruments are played. Like
Ye-
understand the basic concept behind those instruments. Especially as a programmer, also that is very useful to learn how the instrumentalist is getting that sound out of the instrument. So that I do try to understand. But beyond that, I really cannot play any other instrument. And favorite instruments? Oh, this is so hard, but I think I really have to give it to the mridangam. I think mridangam is probably like an instrument that I mean, it's a very hard choice. It's I really can choose a favorite instrument because they're also beautiful, especially when played by the right people, by the talented people. But yeah, I think I'll have to give a slight advantage to mridangam. There is something special about that instrument for me. I can never get enough of it.
Yeah. And who is your favorite singer? Be it Carnatic or Hindustani or playback singer?
Ayyappa. Again, you're asking me extremely difficult questions.
Yeah.
Uh, oh my goodness. I'm very sorry, but in this case, please don't ask me to make a choice because I really cannot choose because there are so many people. So, like, I'm a Malayali, so I'm sure you can understand that during my growing years, my day started and ended with the voices of Dr. KJ Yeshudas and KS Chitra, Sujata, and all
Yes.
these people, MG Srikumar. So, these people literally defined what my idea of a singer was. And then, like, as I've grown into other industries, started listening to other music. Obviously, Hariharan is Shahriar
Yeah,
Shankar, you know, all those people who came up under A.R. Rahman, basically. So there are so many singers, Sukhwinder Singh, Kailash Kher, and all these people,
yeah,
and Shreya Ghoshal. So it's so hard for me to imagine like who I can choose as my favorite. I think right now I'm every time I listen to a singer, the one singer who keeps blowing my mind is Arijit Singh, by how much variety that man has. I absolutely love Hari Charan's voice. I have, had the fortune to record him for two or three of my songs, and he's an absolute magician in the studio. So, and in Karnataka, one of the most exciting singers that I've worked with recently is Siddhartha Bilmandu. He's a
yeah.
he's a classical singer too, and he's like literally fire. Once you put him inside the vocal booth, you're literally recording fire. That man is just magic. His voice, his movements, the perfection in his notes. It is a joy. You cannot at that point. I'm not even the composer there. I'm just an audience member, and I'm like his fan. Listening to him sing. And even somebody like Vasuki Vaibhav, he's actually a fellow composer in the Kannada industry, but he's such a brilliant singer. I had the good fortune of recording him in Garuda Gamana. So
Yes.
there are so many people. There are so many people. So please forgive me for not choosing a favorite because it's too hard. But yeah, there are so many people that I look up to because I consider myself to be a very average singer. So anybody who sings like this that blows my mind is, for me, they are people that I look up to and I respect a lot.
Yeah, that is a smart answer.
Thank you very much.